Hey church family, GodSpeak, or as Donnie and I call it, Christmas, is coming up next week, and I just wanted to take a quick minute to tell all of you guys why this is such an important thing for everyone in our church. For those of you who are new to our church and don't really know what to think about all this prophetic stuff, the best way that I've heard it described before is thinking of it like a big vat of Baskin-Robbins ice cream. That ice cream is like the thoughts of God toward you. And what happens is people with prophetic gifts come in and take one of those little tiny pink sample spoons and just give you a little sample of what God thinks about you, the gifts that He has for you, the calling that He has on your life, and the healing that He desires to bring to your heart. Every single one of us is going to go through a season in our life when we really need to hold tight to the promises of God for our life and His thoughts toward us. And I know that for me personally, in my absolute darkest seasons of my life, when I was overrun with depression, when I had been diagnosed with cancer, and through all the other trials, I would put that CD in the CD player and listen to it over and over again and tell myself, either God's a liar or He's going to come through and pull me out of this. It really is an incredible and life-changing experience when you hear a word from the Lord for yourself. It's exciting, and that's a good thing, and you really should love that because it's wonderful, and we want that for you. We want that for everybody else. But sometimes we tend to make these prophetic conferences, and believe me, I am just as guilty of this, as what am I going to get out of it, or I hope that I get a word from the Lord, instead of thinking of it for what it really is for, and that is building up the church, which you're a part of. I believe that the Lord has given me a verse for our whole church to prepare us going into this year's prophetic assembly. And that comes out of Romans 12:15. That says, "Weep with those who weep and rejoice with those who rejoice." It may or may not be your year to get called out and laid hands on and prophesied over. But even if it's not, and someone's up here and they're getting a word from the Lord, I don't want us to make the mistake of thinking that that doesn't involve us, because it absolutely does. We're a church family, and we're supposed to weep when each other weeps and rejoice when each other rejoices. That means that you're watching somebody who's hearing those same life-changing words from the Lord, like I had, or like some of you have had, that they're going to have to hold on to in their darkest of times, or they're going to need encouragement to work towards. And we're sitting here as brothers and sisters with them, agreeing with the Lord for them, and we're going to be responsible for reminding them of what the Lord said in those hard times. We're going to be responsible for encouraging them and saying, when they're going through the rough seasons, hey, I was there when God told you this, and I'm going to pray with you through this. That's why, no matter whether or not we get something out of it for ourselves, it absolutely involves every single one of us. This is also a time when the church as a whole receives fresh vision and direction from the Lord, and you don't want to miss out on that, because you are a part of what God wants to do through this church family. So any word from the Lord that the church gets absolutely applies to every single one of us. So I'm asking every single one of you to please come for GodSpeak. It's going to be an amazing time. We're going to seek the Lord together. We're going to seek His word together. I'm so excited, and I hope that you will fast with us and pray with us and be there. Don't miss it.